Here we go. So, obscure fact number one that I've learned since living in Connecticut, which hasn't been long, is that I drive far too slow for all the rest of the residents of this state.
My obscure tourist destination of the day takes me to Waterbury, Connecticut. Waterbury, town of at least one hospital and one bridge. Town of traffic. Town of random cathedrals. Town of that one silver car. Town of potholes. Once a kind family in an RV showed me where the parking lot was, I was on my way.
All right, we are here. What I wanted to show you today is something I learned about just last night on the internet. In the mid-20th centuries, a man named John Baptiste Greco had a dream. His dream was to start a biblically inspired theme park so that all the people around on the roadside could see it and come and learn about the scriptures, learn about Jesus Christ.
And this is what he came up with. This is Holy Land, USA. It's a miniature Bethlehem set into the hillside of Waterbury, Connecticut. Guests from all over the nations could come pass through the gates of New England into Jerusalem.
Here I am sitting in front of Herod's Palace, which drastically needs a remodel, so somebody better call Chip and Joanne because it's looking pretty bad. But anyway, welcome to Holy Land, USA, found in the one and only Waterbury, Connecticut.
It's a mashup 2,000 years in the making. The Northeast meets the Middle East. The park was established in the early 1950s by John Baptiste Greco, and by the early 1960s, it was visited by 50,000 some odd people a year. Now given, there's not much left of the city's miniature, but if one is willing to walk around, you might find that there are still some treasures it has to offer.
Slap me if I'm a Hoosier. It's fossilized corn!
All right, I think you guys should see this. This is the inn that had no room, or no vacancy, is what I think they were going for. But there's something I want you to see, because this is not expressly stated in Scripture. You got to really study it out and get a couple of good commentaries, because although the inn had no vacancy, they had cable.
Because of Waterbury's hilled landscape, it gives this miniature Bethlehem a very authentic feel and look for tourists. And once guests enter the gates, they're invited to follow Jesus on his journey through the New Testament, his death, his burial, and his resurrection for the sins of the world and our salvation. Fortunately, the real Bethlehem is alive and well. But here, there are only crumbs left of the house of bread. It's dead silent. Where there used to be 50,000 visitors a year, now hardly anyone passes through its gates. A site dedicated to the holy now abandoned. And the bars that surround the baby Jesus only further darken the mood. Maybe this is where most people would like to leave him. A park dedicated to God and a culture determined to forget him. It's sad. The park is now mostly frequented by photographers, videographers, and social media enthusiasts. And you can't hardly blame them, because in the midst of so much abandonment, there is still so much beauty to be found. As human beings, we may be able to step away from man's creation, but there's absolutely no way we can step away from God's. In the midst of all this ruin, I take comfort in one thing. As hard as man tries to forget God, we can never lock him away. And while buildings may crumble, there will always be a cross standing on a hill.
Well, I hope you guys liked this little tour of Holy Land, USA here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Join me next time. I plan to do a few more of these, trying to find obscure spots wherever I go. So let's have some fun.